Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 9 of the LCR Formula 2 Championship. We're back today here in Germany and yeah, for this one, quite looking forward to this. It's been a while since I raced at Germany on the F1 games. Not a particular fan of it, I'll be honest, in the Formula 2 cars, but ready for the race though. We start in P8 on the grid this time out and it is meant to be a changeable conditions race as well. So getting ready then on the grid for the start of this one. The 5 lights are going to be coming on now then, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go for the start of the feature race here. Starting on the medium compounded tyres doesn't really allow us to get a particularly good start. There you can see everyone on the super softs able to get past there. There's contact through turn 1 between Kez and I think that was LK there. Unfortunately, they've both gone round, so that's us up a couple of spots straight off the start there. We got Jamie trying to look up the inside, but we managed to hang it around the outside of him. And hold on, oh, just about there, get a huge tank slapper on the exit of the corner. We were very, very lucky that everyone bunched up behind us and no one was able to get a particularly good run down the back straight. And you can see everyone trying to duck in and out of the toe at the moment. We're trying to just go a bit defensive as best as possible here. We've got someone trying to go for a big, big send up the inside there. That's IRL F1 Ben completely running us out of the road on the exit of the hairpin there. But somehow we've only lost one place in all of that commotion there as we now head down in through sector 2. Hopefully we can just try and get the car slowed down nice and tidily. All running a little bit deep into the corner there. Dip the wheel over the curbs and unfortunately just made contact with someone else there. That forced us into the gravel. And that is just going to be down into P13 of the race there. And yeah, really quite annoyed with that one, in all honesty. You know, we just dipped a wheel over the curb and the back end just felt so loose at the start of this race. I've never really had this in the Formula 2 cars where I've struggled this much to try and get them going well I want them to. We see ERL F1 Ben has made a mistake as well here, so we're just trying to look back past him as we head down in through sector 3 there. He's going to run very deep through the penultimate corner there. We might try and get a run. No, he opens up the exit but completely drops it on the power at the final corner there, and a collision very reminiscent, I think it was to Timo Glock all the way back in 2008 there. But you can see back up there for into P12 of the race, and over the next couple of laps just trying to settle down into a rhythm here, finally try and get these tyres working where I want them to. You can see Nat Effort has made a mistake as well, so clearly he doesn't want to put any more effort in to this race. We've now got Sims though on the super soft tyres trying to look up the inside of us as we head down the back straightaway here, and we're going to try and brake nice and tidy on the brakes there. Sims was very deep into the corner, so we're going to be able to get the switchback move on him there. A big chunk of oversteer on the exit though once again, but this time around we have held on. And we now move ourselves up into P11 of the race there. We've got someone else just behind trying to line up a move as well. I'm not too sure who that is. We've now got Apex Miata go very slowly just in front of us here. It's actually my teammate Kez who is now right behind us as well. We're going to have to go for the send up the inside of Apex through the through into the Sachs curve there, into the stadium section. He tries to turn in just a little bit on us there, and that unfortunately was a little bit of contact, but we got away out of that one fairly clean and tidy there. So we're back up now into P10 of the race. It's actually quite crazy just how much has happened in the opening few laps of this race as we try to get back on the power there, and still the back end all over the shop at the moment here. Back through turn 1, trying not to get another track limits warning there. This time around we keep it between the white lines. We've now got Kez though trying to line up a move as we head down in through turn 2 there, running very deep through the corner. That might allow Kez to get the run on the X there. He does still get the DRS on us, so we're probably not going to be able to do much in terms of defending here as we head down at the back straightaway. You see Kez now trying to look up the inside. Sims might try and follow him past us as well. We're going to be 3 wide as we head into the hairpin there, and both of them are going to run a little bit deep, and once again we're able to get the cutback on Sims there on the exit of the corner. So it's been 2 laps in a row where he's had the DRS and hasn't been able to make the move work on myself, so quite happy with that one. That was still holding on at the moment. There a little bit of contact with Kez. I just couldn't spot my braking point into that corner there. That allows Sims up the inside now, so he can't make the moves work down the straight there, but once we make a mistake, these straight passes there are now up into P11 of the race for him, and back down into P12 of the race for ourselves now as we head down in through the Sachs curve once again there. Sims just slamming the door shut on the exit there. As you can see, John and Alex setting fastest laps of the race as well. And over the next couple of laps though, we would just be slowly settling down into a rhythm here, finally working out what these medium compound tyres were capable of there. Sims makes a big mistake though, lucky not to get collected in that one there. Kez, my teammate, is going to pit in as well on the end of the lap there, as well as LCR Ben. So the first of the super soft runners now trying to dive it in. And like I was saying at the start, there was meant to be changeable conditions in this race as well. So we'll wait and see as to when that does happen. You can see all the way on now to lap 12 here, and still only made up a couple more places as a lot of the lower down, sort of the rest of the field that had started on the super softs here had now made their pit stops. See, Ben was now up into P9, and we were looking at the sky. It was looking rather grey at the moment, I'll be honest, as we pick up a 3-second time penalty heading through turn 1. But it was starting to look, very ominous here. So it was a difficult debate about whether, if the rain would come down, A, how heavily, and B, when in this race. I mean, we've got 6 laps to go here, and we're going to have to try and take the gamble, try and pray that the rain doesn't come down all too much. They see Fred as well, one of my LCR teammates, has gone for the same strategy as ourselves. And at the moment, it's very much 50-50. This strategy will either work or it won't at the end of the day. They're down into the pit lane, and we've just got 5 laps to go now of this race. You can see getting on a fresh set of the super soft tyres. Where are we going to come out in this race? We've got Riley just behind us, as well as I think LCR Ben there as we head out of the pit lane once again. There, Kez, my teammate, as well, now just behind us once more. He might try and look past us as we head down in towards turn 2, but we've got a much fresher, much quicker set of tyres here, so hopefully he won't be too much of a threat for very long in this Grand Prix. And you can see just how much earlier we can get on the power as we head down the back straight with her. But Kez still will have the DRS on us, so we might be able to go for a bit of a send if he wants to here. We're going to try and squeeze him a little bit as we head down into the hairpin there. He's just going to run a little bit too deep on the brakes. We're going to take a little bit of grass, get the power down on the exit of the corner there. We now move ourselves back up into P10 of the race. And at the moment, I was trying to eye up 8th place. If we could get that, get the reverse grid pole, hopefully we can have a good second race of the day. But we shall wait and see as we now head down in through sector 3 of this lap. You can just see how much extra grip we've got over those medium runners here at the moment. You can see just how much time we make up on both Riley and Ben there as we head down in through the Sachs curve on lap 14. Just 5 laps to go of this race, and the track was still looking fairly overcast, but there weren't particularly many heavy clouds forming over the Hockenheim circuit just yet as we head through the final corner on to lap 15. You can see Ben doesn't get a particularly good run at the final turn there, so we might be able to try and go for the send up the inside through turn 1 there. A nice clean overtake, if I do say so myself. Well, now up into P9, we've got the second DRS zone now to close up the gap ever so slightly to Riley as well. You can see, is he going to be able to get a good run out of the first couple of corners? We should. There's the spark though. There is the flash of rain in this race. So it is now raining here at Hockenheim, and just now is a question of how heavy it will pour there. You can see Riley though trying to go defensive, moves around a little bit in the braking zone. I personally felt there, you can see, get a warning for that, but the extra grip we've got still on these super soft tyres there. Straight up now into P8 of the Grand Prix, and now it's a case, like I said, of whether the track will get wet enough in the later stages of this race. 4 laps to go. Surely it's not going to get that bad in this race. You can see a couple of the drivers that tried to stay out on a set of the mediums from the start of this race were now getting a little bit worried, potentially just trying to take them either one more lap and pray that the inters come out, or really lose out a lot from the undercut here. And you can see on to lap 16 there, we've got 3 laps to go now of this Grand Prix. We've got a few drivers now starting to make their pit stops, starting to come in for a set of the full wet tyres. Obviously no intermediates in Formula 2, which was the other thing I was hoping for, that it just wouldn't get wet enough for the full wet tyres here. And you can see, like I said, 3 laps to go. We were trying to take the gamble, get these tyres through to the end of this race there. John's dropped out of the Grand Prix. He's dropped it on the exit of the pit lane here, and now is going to be a good indicator of how much time we're losing to the full wet runners here. 3 laps to go, like I said. And is Jamie going to be able to get a particularly big run on this? He doesn't seem to have got a particularly great run, but he's still gaining in on us as we head into the hairpin. They're trying not to lock up the brakes as best as possible. They can see just how easy was for Jamie there. He just straight up the inside. Nothing we can do in terms of defence. We can see Fred's still a few seconds behind us. So if we can hold on, you know, keep it nice and tidy between now and the end, we might still make up one extra place from where we were here. On to lap 18, 2 laps to go of this race. You could just see it was, yeah, pretty much impossible to try and keep the car pointing in the right direction. We managed to bin it down the straightaway there, and like I said, you know, the rain was just falling so quickly at the moment that, well, LCR Ben as well and Riley might both be able to get past us here, and it was one of those horrible situations where you've made the commitment, you've accepted that it's definitely not worked out as Ben flies past us, but you don't really want to then have to pit and throw away even more time there as we head down into the hairpin. There are big double lockup, and Riley's able to sneak past us as well. So we're back down now into P9 of this race, and yeah, I just never seem to get the luck in LCR Formula 2 at the moment here. And yeah, just over a lap and a half to go now. How many more places are we going to fall there? We've got Sims a few seconds back from us as well, and you can see as we head on to the final lap, Kez on the set of the full wet tyres now was gaining very quickly behind us as well. In towards the final couple of corners though of the Grand Prix. Could we potentially hold on for 1 point? No, Kez gets up the inside as we head through the final corner there. We try and keep it pointing in the right direction there. Kez, not too sure what that was all about, in all honesty. We were very lucky we didn't lose a wheel in that situation, but we come over the line in the most depressing place in Formula 1. It was P11 at the end of the feature race there, but a really crazy good race in the end. Changeable conditions always make it interesting on F1 2019 there, but if I'm not mistaken, it was Dralex that came through for the race victory there when all is said and done. LK in second, Mel in third, Connor fastest lap in fourth, ahead of Jamie, Ben, Riley, Sims, Fred, Kez, myself, Apex, Effort, and Joe there, with John not making it through to the end of the Grand Prix there. But that's race 1 all done and dusted then. Let's head in to the second race of the day. Let's jump in to the sprint race. So here we are then, ready for a very wet sprint race here for LCR Formula 2 back in Germany. You can see starting P11 for this one. Maybe, just maybe, we can try and get a couple of points on the board in this second race of the day. But it's going to be 5 lights, and it is a very long hold, but it's finally lights out. And away we go for the sprint race here. 7 laps ahead of us once again around Hockenheim. And you can see already someone's gone off up the road there. There's a big contact before we even get into turn 1. And Kez has been spat around in front of me, and there's nothing we can do to avoid that. Both Kramers already been screwed off the start there, and I think it was someone and LCR Ben had come together. He got on the grass, got loose, and nothing he could do in that situation there. So that is any chance of points completely gone in the second race of the day here. Already way back, and it would take us all the way to lap 4 before we'd have any sort of action going on in this race there. Kez and Ben just in front of us here. We might try and line up a double overtake if possible here. Kez just ducks in front of Ben there. Ben tries to move around just in front of us there, and we're going to go very late on the brakes there. Try and get the car stopped into the hairpin. On the exit though, Kez and myself going side by side. They're trying to get the power down as best as possible, and there's tiny contact, and we end up in the wall again. And that is the premiers coming together for the second time in this race there. And yeah, really not too sure. I felt Kez could have given me a little bit more room, but we definitely just got a little bit loose on the exit on the power there as well. And yeah, this day has definitely gone from bad to worse, I'll be honest. But still, you know, we've got to continue on, battle out the rest of this race. You can see heading down into the hairpin. John stacked it again. That's quite impressive going. He's managed to retire from both races this week and the feature race last time out back in France there, as we almost understeer right into his retired car. But you can see a couple of laps later though, trying to go for a send up the inside of Ben there, completely run him out of the road, I'll be honest, but I was still a little bit tilted about the start of the race there. We're gonna, yeah, just don't look at the screen, but we're gonna run a little bit wide on the exit of the corner. Don't get an illegal overtake, just get a warning for track limits in that one. And we're now back up into P10 of the race there. And unfortunately, when all was said and done there, we move up one more place from someone else, making a bit of a mistake there. But at the end of the day, only able to battle Ben for P9 at the end of the day there. He's going to try to look up the inside of us. I'm going to give him a big squeeze as we head in towards the stadium section there. Connor takes home the sprint race victory there. Ben and myself, though, still side by side as we head down into the Sachs curve here. But yeah, just at the moment, not playing that much of F1 2019 is really hampered by pace, in all honesty, over the last few weeks. But down in towards the final couple of corners then of the race, getting a very loose as we head through the penultimate turn. Through the final corner, though, it's going to be once again one place outside the points there as we almost bit it across the line there. And actually it's P10. We got a penalty as well there. So P10 at the end of the sprint race there. Connor, though, does take home the race victory ahead of Sims, Dralex, Riley, Mel, Jamie, LK, Apex, Ben, myself and Kez there, with Fred and John both not making it through to the end of the Grand Prix. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you did enjoy, do make sure you get yourself subscribed, and we will be back next time out for round 10 of the championship, where I think we head to Hungary.